Being touted as a potential Google killer. Some former engineers at the internet giant have started their own search engine. It's called Cuil, and the internet is abuzz with what some are calling a David and Goliath type battle. Cuil's backers say it samples more pages across the internet, making the results look nicer and easier to read. Representatives at Google say they welcome the competition and that the users all benefit in the end. Rahaf Harfoush is a media strategist, technology watcher, and web consultant. She joins me now from our studios in Toronto. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So talk to us about Cuil, that's how it's pronounced and spelled C-U-I-L, and why is there so much hype around Cuil?
Well, it's not usually a big deal. Search engines are sort of released every day, but this one's a little bit different because the people behind Cuil, which is actually an Irish word meaning wisdom, are 3 ex-Google employees. And one of those employees, Anna Patterson, had actually developed her own search engine software that was acquired by Google back in 2004. So clearly this is a woman who sort of knows what's going on. And she brings her husband to the team, Tom Costello, and he was the old chief technology officer for Alta Vista, which back in 1998 was the place to search. So there's been a lot of buzz about this company because Google has never before faced direct competition from old employees.
Interesting. It sounds like a little bit of a soap opera. So exactly what does it do compared to Google, and is there much competition, as you say? Is it a direct competitor to Google?
Well, it sort of differs in 3 major ways. The first way is that it looks different. Instead of having the list that everyone's accustomed to of the links, they've basically put all the results in a column. So you basically read them, two or three columns, and you read them from left to right. So that's going to be a bit of a change for people that are used to using other search engines like Google or Yahoo. Secondly, the way that they search is different. While Google has an algorithm that basically decides the relevance of a link based on the quality and the quantity of other people linking to it, Cuil will basically just search for the keywords and try to determine the relevance by keywords, so it drills down into the content. And finally, I think one of the most important differences that Cuil is hoping will lure users away from Google is that it's promising to not record any of the data that its users put into the search engine, so it won't keep any of your query searches or any of your web browsing habits, which, as we know, Google uses that as a huge competitive advantage for its ad tracking tools and other uses.
I'm not sure everyone knows about that, and that is an important point to make. So, does it work?
It's been really hit or miss. Unfortunately, there was so much hype because of this backstory that when they launched, some of their servers got overwhelmed with traffic. So the entire site basically was down, and bloggers and other news people who were trying to look up certain terms, anything from Jaguar to Stephen Harper, were getting no search results. So they had a bit of a rocky start, and I think it remains to be seen as to whether or not they can fix some of the bugs and deal with some of the traffic, as to whether or not it will actually take Google on.
So from your perspective, why would a consumer want to choose Cuil over Google, which has become such a part of our lives?
I guess it's just a different searching mechanisms. They claim that they have 120 billion pages that far outreaches Google, which has been unfounded. It hasn't been confirmed yet by Google, but I mean, for me, Google has become so much more than a search engine. It's become a verb that people use, a name that's synonymous with search. And when you look at all the other suites of services that they have, they've got mail and calendars and blog readers and notebooks, and they even have partnerships with some of the biggest companies like Apple. You have Google Maps on every single iPhone. For me, the privacy issue becomes a bit of a secondary issue next to convenience. So maybe if you're very, very concerned about the data you're putting online, that would maybe be a good alternative if you want to feel a little bit safer. But in the big picture, I don't really see Google being displaced by this new competitor.
And have you heard about how the folks over at Google feel about this?
Well, Google has responded by saying that any competition is basically good for everyone involved, and they're obviously very interested in the developments because they say that it pushes everyone to work that much harder. However, I don't see them being all that concerned.
Rahaf Harfoush, thanks so much for coming in tonight. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.